Right, class, I'm the professor. I'm going to be giving you your lecture today. Now, just so that we're all clear, this is Gallifreyan History 101, so please make sure you're in the right class. There's always one, isn't there? Right, for the rest of us, we've got a lot to cover, so let's get started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Three Stitches podcast. It seems a while since you guys have seen me, since you've seen both Mom and Lindsay in the past two podcasts, but here I am. I am back. It is Wednesday, and it's been sort of a meh week. Just a meh week. Today is March 14th. Happy Pi Day. Those of you who know what that is. If those of you who don't, it's 314, so it's 3.14 is pi. It's Pi Day. Um, yeah, I just know of it. I don't really do it. It's really warm in my room right now. Ugh. I may end up taking this off. I wanted to wear it because I figured since it's a knitting podcast, I should probably start. I've noticed that Mom wears something knitted usually once in a while when she podcasts. And everybody else usually wears something knitted when they podcast. So I was like, well, what the heck? I'll do it too. But it's really warm in my room right now. I have my windows open. Yeah, it's 36 degrees outside with my windows open, and it's boiling in my room. I don't know what. Maybe my heat's on. Let me hear. No, my heat's not on. I don't know why it's so warm in here. But this little poncho capelet thing may be coming off soon, sooner rather than later, because it's boiling. But so I made this over the summer, right before I left for school. I had um, I basically just needed a project, and I saw this on the back of a magazine, and I thought it was a free pattern, but it wasn't, and I was like, I was stubborn. I was being stubborn. I was like, I don't want to pay for the pattern, so I made it up. I looked at the picture. I was just like, oh, this is basic poncho. So I did the top part in pink, and then I did the bottom part in like a darker raspberry color, and then I added flowers. So I don't remember what the pattern is called. It was on the back of a magazine that I own. Um, and I don't know. So I went on Ravelry and I thought it was free, and it was not. So I was like, nope, I'm not gonna pay for it. I'll make it up as I go along. And so I think it turned out rather well for making it up as I go along. Um, so yeah, that's the story behind this one. This is actually the first time I've worn it since the summer. In El Paso, this is quite warm for the summer, so I did not wear it. Um, and the fall here went from like really, really warm to cold. There was no in between that I can remember that I could have worn this. So today is a nice in between day. It's going to be in the mid 40s. So I was like, yeah, I'll put a long sleeve shirt on and I'll wear this. So there it is. It's pulled out of the drawer. It's been rather nice weather lately. It has been, yesterday, it got up to like 65 here. And for March in Buffalo, woo! Go Mother Nature! We love you. Um, so yeah, the weather's been warm lately, and it went from like cold and blustery and meh, it's freezing a couple days ago to the sun is out and it is gorgeous outside. It's supposed to be like 70 on Sunday, which is amazing. But this is Buffalo weather. This is in a week's time it could be cold, blustery, and blizzardy again. So yeah, this is Buffalo. Last year at this time, and I know this because essay turnover is coming up, well, which I'll explain later. But last year essay turnover was the Saturday of essay turnover. It was 80 degrees, and I'm guessing that it's about the same time in the year, judging that essay is one of the main clubs on campus. It's the main like student body governing system. So I'm guessing that essay turnover is about the same time every year. And so it was 80 degrees at SA turnover yesterday in the middle, or last year in the middle of March. And at the beginning of April, it was snowing. So yeah, that gives you an idea of how crazy Buffalo weather is. Although, but this is for those of you who don't live in Buffalo. Mom and Lindsay, you know already how crazy Buffalo weather can get. I remember one time I was in ninth grade. It was the year before we left to move down to El Paso, and I remember going to school, and one day it was cold and blustery and miserable, and the next day it was 60 degrees. We were in short sleeve shirts and pants going to school. All the snow was melting, and the next day it was cold and blustery again. It went from like 20 to 60 to 20. It This is just Mother Nature just likes to play tricks on us. She likes to give us like little hints of spring and then be like, nope, here comes a snowstorm again. Um, but one thing I do like about Buffalonians is they take advantage of those little like spurts. If the temperature rises above 50 degrees, everybody comes out of the woodworks. Like it's like people are walking their dogs, people are taking walks, people are out. It's 60 degrees out, and it's not summer weather, but people are in shorts and tank tops because they're like, woohoo! The weather is nice. We are gonna take advantage of this. We don't have to wear our winter jackets. We don't have to wear pants. We don't have to wear long sleeve shirts. We are gonna wear summer clothes. And while it's not the most practical idea because it's not quite warm enough, whatever floats your boat. You're taking advantage of it. You're taking advantage of the nice weather because yeah, tomorrow it could be cold and blustery again. So we're gonna take advantage of it right now. It's very nice out. It's supposed to be mid 40s today. It's supposed to be 50s tomorrow, and it's gradually like work its way up until the weekend. Saturday is supposed to be about 65-ish. Sunday's supposed to be 70-ish. Beautiful. But who knows? Monday it could be 25 degrees again. Who knows? All right, enough rambling. I would like, just so you all know, because you have total interest in my lives, in my lives. Apparently, I have multiple personalities now, because you have total interest in my life, and I don't know. I'm very hungry right now. I don't know why. Well, I didn't eat breakfast this morning. That's why I need to go to the grocery store. But I haven't eaten breakfast for a couple days now. I ate breakfast yesterday because I had to go to class, and I'll have an extra meal at the end of the week because I won't be eating dinner here on Saturday because of SI turnover. I'll be having a nice fancy dinner, which would be lovely. But so I was like, well, I'll use my extra meal to go to breakfast today, which was yesterday. But I am very hungry. Yep, just because you guys are so interested in this stuff, I am very hungry. Um, Not much has happened. This is why I'm rambling. This may end up being a very, very, very short podcast. Because not much has happened in the past week. Um, yeah. So, SA Turnover is this Saturday, and basically that's just a dinner for new SA members and old SA members, and those SA members that are returning. So it's a dinner that say hi to those coming in, goodbye to those coming to leaving, and you're still sticking around, people who are still here. And so that's at, I don't know what restaurant. And I feel like a pain because um it's Friday. It is Friday. I thought it was Saturday. Oops. Although I shouldn't although I shouldn't have thought it was Saturday because when we picked out our meals, we were told that it's a Friday in Lent, so if we observe that, make sure you choose the meal that is meatless. And this is where me feeling like a pain comes in. So I have this weird quirk that I I don't know, I can't eat cream sauces. They give me a stomach ache. I love Alfredo, but 4 bites into it, I'm nauseous. Nauseous to boot. I can drink milk. I don't like the taste of milk, but I can drink it. I can have it on my cereal. Doesn't affect me. I can have yogurt. I can have cheese. It's not a dairy allergy. I don't know. It's not lactose intolerant. It's just cream sauces. So what I'm thinking is it's really rich, and so like that's what makes my stomach turn. Sounds like a very like horrible horror movie when your stomach turns. But so the meal options were chicken, beef, Alfredo. So I'm like, this is lovely. It's Friday, so I can't have chicken or beef. And my stomach revolts at Alfredo. So I go up to Tyler, who's the SA president, and I'm like, so does this place do alternate meals for one person? He's like, I don't know, I'll call him. So I call him, and it turns out they do, and I'm gonna have a red sauce on my pasta instead of an Alfredo sauce, which is okay. But I feel like a pain because I'm the only one in the entire group who has to have a special sauce because of my stomach. Yay! Yay for me! Yay for me making extra work for the chefs and yes. So, yep. So that's this Friday. I thought it was Saturday. That's okay. Doesn't really matter what day it is. So actually, it actually does because Saturday was going to be warmer than Friday. But I did try on the dress that I wanted to wear for it, and it fits better now, which is good. It's a little looser. It's good. So before I had to squeeze some stuff in there to get into it. Woo! Now I don't. It's good. The ladies in that dress when I put it on before were a little uncomfortable. They a little smushed. So I put it on and I zipped it up. I was like, woo, it's a lot easier to zip up now, and they're not so smushed anymore. Good. So because I've been trying to pick healthier choices at the PBR. Yesterday I didn't do too well. Yesterday the fried chicken looked really good. But I only had a couple pieces. So I've been eating like a sandwich for lunch. So I'm regular at the sandwich station now. Every day for lunch, I'm over there, and I get wheat bread with some sort of meat and lettuce and tomato and a little bit of mustard. My standard. It's usually turkey or roast beef, but they've been out of roast beef lately, which is a bummer because roast beef and mustard. I don't know what it is about that combo, but roast beef and mustard, it's delicious. Maybe I'll have salami today. And so, while we're on the topic of meat in Lent, on Fridays in Lent, have been really good. Usually, like I don't remember until I get to the PBR and I sit down, I look down, I'm like, oh, I have meat on my plate and it's Friday. Or I'll sit down, someone will be like, it's Friday, and I'll look down and be like, oh, it is. So this now, granted, it's only been 2 weeks. We're only 2 Fridays into it. Really good until last Friday, but it was really good at PBR. And for some reason, the fact that it's Friday like totally escaped my memory halfway through the day last week. Lunch was really good. A tuna sandwich, really good. Dinner was not the greatest for meatless last Friday. Like they had, I'm trying to stay away from fried foods, and so the only fish that they had was fried haddock. And I'm like, it's fish. It's fish, and there's chicken, and the chicken looked really good. It was chicken marsala, and I love their chicken marsala. But I'm like, it's fried. I can't have the chicken, but it's fried haddock, and I'm like, no, 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 no. What do I? So I didn't get either, and so I end up like getting a rice. I end up getting like a bowl of rice, and that's it. And so I was really, really hungry, and we went to the mall on Friday. Just walked around a bit. We tried on dresses for fun. Um, well, for me for fun, for others to get an idea of what they wanted to wear for spring fling. I already have my spring fling dress, so I just tried on dresses for fun. Going, whoo, that does not look good on me. I'm laughing my butt off. Um, and then guess where we went because we were all starving because we all did not like what the PPR served for dinner that day. We all went to Taco Bell. And so apparently the entire mall trip, it escaped me that it's Friday. And I did not realize this until Monday when we sat down at lunch and Katie was like, remember what we did on Friday? I'm like, nope, I can barely remember what I did yesterday. She's like, no, think hard. I'm like, we went to the mall. And then and then she's like, well, then where did we go? I'm like, Taco Bell. She's like, what day was it? I'm like, oh, dang it was Friday. So, yeah, that was my one slip up. It was good all day. Dang you, Taco Bell. Meh. All right. Now, before I get to knitting, I've been meaning to talk about this in my last two podcasts, and every time I stop recording, I'm like, got to talk about it. So, and well, and I'm gonna say it here because Mom asked me to tell her how it is because okay, you'll understand once I start talking. I often do this. I speak in metaphors that people don't understand until after my story, and then they don't bother to think back. Then they don't remember what I said before, and so they don't think back to it. But um, the there's a favorite movie of me and my mom and Lindsay called To Sir with Love, and it's made in the 1960s, set in London, and it's with Sidney Poitier, that dude, and I, he's a great actor, but your last name couldn't have chosen a better stage name. I mean, maybe it's your real name, but if it was, actors can change their name. Just as David Tennant. Um, and so it's been a favorite movie of ours. If you haven't seen it, which you probably haven't, it's a very not well known movie, and it's on YouTube. Just type in To Sir with Love, 1960, because there's like a Japanese horror movie called To Sir with Love. That's not it. It's not it. Um, and so watch it on YouTube. It's a fantastic movie, and it's about a teacher. Wait, not he's not really a teacher. He gets a job. He gets a job at a school, and it's sort of like an alternative school, where the students here it's their last chance at schooling. They've been kicked out of schooling. This is the only place they can go, so they're not the most well-behaved students. And so he gets put in charge of the seniors, the top grade. But the only reason he has this job is he can't find a job as an engineer. He has an engineering degree, but he can't find a job. And so he's taken this teaching post. And so it's just the story is just his journey through getting to know these students and watch the movie. It's a great movie. It's on YouTube. And I was watching it and something made me just like look it up, like look up general information about it, and somehow I came across that there is a sequel to it called To Sir with Love too, and um it's with Sidney Poitier as well, and it's like 30 some years ahead at his retirement, and it was a decent movie as sequels go. It's okay. Sequels usually they're never better than the original except for Toy Story. But this one was decent. So, Mom, you, yeah, I'd recommend it. It was good. Not as good as the original, but watchable and enjoyable. So it's basically the same storyline, but set in Chicago. So yeah, and a little bit more modern, a little bit more of like today's issues. Like, the 1960s version, but is still definitely relevant to today. But I don't know, this one was a bit more, but not as um, well made, I would say. Just because it was a copy of a storyline, but they did have some throwbacks to um, the the early one. So good watch. And that one's on YouTube as well. So okay, on to knitting. So my Pavonis is almost done. I'm assuming my Pavonis is almost done. Okay, this is coming off because this is going to be difficult to show knitting with that on. So that's coming off. So I think my Pavonis is almost done because I'm getting down there in yarn. You can't really see it in this, but I don't have that much yarn left. And so I'm thinking this may be my last repeat because I'm not as experienced of a knitter as Lindsay, and I don't like frogging. And nobody likes frogging, but I don't like frogging because I'm not good at frogging. And I'll frog a row fine, but like multiple rows, that would drive me nanners, bonkers, up the wall. You'd see me in the next podcast going, excuse me. That came out of nowhere. So, this is my bonus. Get it untangled. Okay. So I have about 6 more rows left in this repeat. And so I'm thinking that 6 of the pattern rows plus 6 purl rows plus 3 more garter stitch rows that might be just what, and if I have more left over that I could have done another repeat, I'm sorry, but I don't want to have the chance that I'm going to have to frog. I don't want to. So I'm thinking that this might be my last repeat. So I think this might be the last time you see my Pavonis on the needles. Next week you may be seeing it on me. So let's see here. Let's see if I can find the midpoint. Midpoint, midpoint, midpoint. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. There's the midpoint. Ugh. Come on. Stretch out. Stretch out, stretch out. Okay, well, you get the idea. That's not the halfway point, but yeah. Not nearly as many repeats as Lindsay's is going to be because her gauge is super tight. Mom was right the last podcast. She continues to deny it, but her gauge is super tight. You have When you make socks and you're just regularly knitting them, but the fabric feels like you're felting it, but like it's been felted, your gauge is tight. But my gauge is loose. So Lindsay's is tight, Mom's in between, my gauge is loose. So I do not have as many repeats as Lindsay. I do not have as many repeats as Lindsay, but it's almost done. So that'll be a relief, and then I can work fully on this project, which I have here underneath the screen, which you can't see yet because I want to tell you first that I went yarn shopping on Saturday. So it was after group process. Group process is a chance for current RAs to observe applying RAs in activities that, so we can observe their leadership style, their the way they interact in a group. No, I'm taking on Lindsay's role of burping during my podcast. So group process is just a chance for us to observe them, how they work in a group, their leadership qualities, and other stuff. Um, so I observed this activity, and they had to design a residence hall, and so they had to take into account, how many residents they're going to accommodate, the rooms are going to look like, what the halls are going to look like, just generally design a residence hall. And so looking for, who took charge of the group, who kept the group on task, who, I don't know, just general stuff. We had a checklist, we wrote comments, and then how would you rate this candidate, and a summary. And so we each observed one candidate, but since the groups were larger, there were 5 to 6 people in each group, and 2 groups, and there was only a panel of 4 RAs. So one person had to do 2, and since I was the only one in my group who was returning, that I got to observe too. So yeah, that's what I was trying to spit out. Just like that. Spit out. Spit out. So yeah, I got to observe too. But after that, I went yarn shopping at the local yarn shop, and I had goodies. Unfortunately, nothing that that's gonna be for a prize in the future, because this yarn was a little expensive, and the yarn there is a little expensive. But next time I go, I think I will be picking up yarn for prizes. So I just picked up yarn for a project that I'm doing that I started. And the place is called Elmwood Yarn Shop. It's on Hurdle Avenue, which I don't understand because there's a street called Elmwood, so I assume that Elmwood Yarn Shop would be on Elmwood Avenue. It is not. It is on Hurdle Avenue. It's in a very nice town, very nice part of town. And so, but they have some really nice yarn, really really expensive yarns. If you want to touch a $50 ball of yarn, go there. I touched a $50 ball of yarn, and I touched a $60 ball of yarn. Yeah. Needless to say, I did not buy it. My wallet cannot afford it. $60 for one ball of yarn. No. Instead, I bought this beautiful, amazing lace weight yarn. And this is the black, but I bought black, white, and purple. And I'm going to be, oh, bugger, I don't have the magazine. Actually, the magazine is right behind me. Hold on. In my bag, because my knitting was in my bag yesterday because I took it to class with me. So I could knit. Because there's always about 5 or so minutes when I get there before class starts. So that's valuable knitting time. So I bought this lovely, 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 very, 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 very soft. It's called very, very soft yarns. Very, very soft. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's great. I bought this very, very, very soft yarn. It's called Baby Alpaca Lace, and it's from it. I still maintain it's local. Lindsay maintains that Pennsylvania is not local. Pennsylvania is a 3-hour drive. It's local. So it's from Pennsylvania. It's from Bristol, Pennsylvania. It's called by the Plymouth Yarn Company. Baby alpaca. It's 100% baby alpaca yarn. So I bought black. I bought 2 skeins of black. And I've already wound it up. So this black hasn't been wound up. The other black has. And I bought purple. Very lovely, lovely, lovely. Ooh, that's not true to it. It's more of a lighter purple. It's more of a vibrant purple. So yeah, it's more vibrant than that. So that's the purple. And then this white. That's pretty true to it. Yeah. It's not like white white, it's sort of like an off-white. So I bought those. And so I started a capelet. Actually, I will tell you what pattern is first. It's from Jane Austen Knits, and which I got for Christmas. And Mom, I will send you the patterns that you requested from this. I will scan them in and send them to you just as soon as school calms down, which will be Thursday, which will be tomorrow. So you'll get the patterns tomorrow. I will scan them in, and then run over to the library real quick and condense them into a PDF for you. So they're from Jane Austen Knits, which my sister and I got for Christmas. And so since I have a scanner, I took the magazine to school with me, and I'm scanning patterns in. I haven't done so lately because there's a lot of patterns and I've been really, really, really busy. But I will eventually get all the patterns scanned and sent to Lindsay and Mom. So for now, I'm just sending the ones that they want as we go. So I sent Mom the Georgiana, and I'm gonna send her the tea cozy recipe. The tea cozy pattern, the Pemberley slippers, and the Josephine shawl, which is gorgeous. So I am doing the picturesque cape, And let's see, it is on page 109, so I will show you. Picturesque cape. So this one right here. So I'm going to do, so you see there's 3 layers, so I have 3 colors. I'm going to do the black. My webcam mirrors the images. I haven't quite got the hang of it. So the black is going to be the bottom layer, and then the white is going to be the middle layer, and then the purple is going to be the top layer. So yep, that's the capelet. Um, going along quite smoothly. I started yesterday, and I've got the back portion and the shoulders done. I'll show you. I don't know what size needles I'm doing it on because I don't have a gauge yet, so I basically just picked out a set of needles, checked gauge, and woohoo! Look, I match. So, yep, I'm doing it on these needles. These. Let's get it all untangled here because it was in my bag for school. It's going along quite smoothly. Once I got the hang of it, and I got the pattern figured out, it's going along quite smoothly. I've got the shoulders and the neck done, so now it's just back and forth, increase, 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 back and forth, increase, increase, increase for a while until the pattern tells me to stop. So yeah, so these are gonna be these are the shoulders, and that's the back of the neck. So now that I've got those done, now it's just back, forth, with a couple of increases. Yep, so there we go. It's on size these needles. Once I get my package and I get my gauge, I will tell you what these needles are. Alright, so you've heard from Mom and Lindsay that we're doing a knit along, and instead of doing a monthly knit along that we did for the Pavonis, we were going to do a weekly knit along. And somehow we had a breakdown of communication because I thought I was doing my knit along the week of spring break, but apparently I'm not. So I do not have a pattern picked out for it yet, because life has been hectic, life has been busy. So I'm hoping that tonight, after my class, because it'll technically be the weekend, I can sit down on Ravelry and pick out a small project that I have yarn for, which is going to be a feat because I do not have much yarn in my room right now. Um, so yeah. Hopefully you will see in the show notes tonight, if when I edit it, that there is a knit along. So and then I will post it up on Ravelry. So be sure to join our Ravelry group if you want to join along. Last week's knit along was Hitchhiker. So yep, Mom's done with that. I don't know. Lindsay's probably done by now. It's spring break for her, so lots of knitting time can be fit in. School, you have to fit it around schoolwork, so wow, that's a novel thought. School, you have to fit knitting around schoolwork. Yeah, what a novel idea. Um, and so not as much knitting gets done, unfortunately. Such is the life of a college student that knits. Guaranteed, I'm the only one who brings my knitting here to class. I'm the only one in class. You'll see me just. Yep. I think that's it for me. Um, yep. Nothing more. And if there is something more, I will remember it like I did for the past 2 podcasts to tell you about the To Sir with Love sequel. I'll remember it as I'm finishing recording. Literally last week, I finished recording, saved it, and then I had to go to lunch, and I go to press the elevator button, I'm like, bugger, forgot to talk about To Sir with Love. Then definitely time to end the podcast because I can't talk anymore. I was like, bugger, I forgot to talk about To Sir with Love. So I remembered this time. Remembered. Um, I'm thinking about buying Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the movie, because we want to have a movie night on Friday. And I was like, this is the perfect movie. This is hilarious movie. I probably won't buy it. Probably won't have it. Yep. I have one other project, the shawl. It's going along, but it's over. It's all the way over there. I forgot to bring it over here. My yellow crocheted shawl that I'm starting. That I'm using the same yarn for a different pattern, but now I'm using a different pattern. So yeah. So be sure to join our Ravelry group. I think my curtains are gonna fall down soon. It's happened for the past 2 times. No, maybe it was just the wind. It's quite scary when you're sitting in your bed doing homework and your curtain rods fall down. It's quite scary. So be sure to join our Ravelry group. It's the only way you can be entered into our knit along. We are going to, if you haven't seen Mom's podcast from Monday, we're going to enter, depending on how many join. Because let's be honest, right now we don't have that big of a following, so we don't know how many people are going to put their patterns in. So we're gonna do one pattern a week, and if it's a reasonable amount, a reasonably small amount, we're gonna put all your names in a hat at the end of the month, no matter what pattern you've done. And we're gonna draw a name, and that name that belongs to a person will be will win a $5 pattern from their wish list. So start your patterns. Post the pictures on Ravelry, on our Ravelry group, our Ravelry thread, and build up your wish lists. Because if you win, that's the only way we'll know what pattern you want. So, forgot. And Lindsay's sort of, I don't know, sort of like a tribute, maybe, like sort of a, I can't think of the word I want. Meh. Okay, well, like a shout out to Lindsay, sort of. So, on Monday we had a multiculturalism thingy. Wow, that was real educated thing to say. I had a multiculturalism thingy. It was called Country A to Country Z, and it was basically just raising awareness for the differences of cultures and stuff, and it's a little activity. I'm going on 40 minutes, so I won't explain it. But we did raffles at the end, and I won. This is one of the only raffles I've won. So I had that, but I won. Didn't win anything from Duval because the presentators were from Canisius and Buff State. And they were brought to Duval by a Duval staff person, employee. Word I'm looking for. I can't speak today. So we had prizes from Duval, from Canisius, and from Buff State. So we did a raffle. I mentioned my foot. That's what I'm doing, just because this looks kind of odd. Yeah. So I won a raffle. Finally, never won a raffle here at school. There's usually always like a zillion amount of people who get raffle tickets at events, and so the chances of winning are like 5 in a bazillion. And so there's only like 20 people there. So I won a theme right there. Buff State Bengal Tiger. And I was asked to name him right. I was asked him to name him right then and there. I usually don't name my stuffed animals anymore. I don't have stuffed animals anymore. I mean, come on, I'm 21. But I'll just sit here like this so you can see him in the frame. I was asked to name him right then and there because there was a little certificate that went with it. It was his birth certificate, and they had to fill it out. I don't know what goes on over there at Buff State, but wow. So I was asked to name him right then and there. And so all I could think about was Lindsay gives her things really weird names. So it's already been used, but the only thing I can think of right then and there was Snigglefritz McGillicuddy. And that's one of Lindsay's like favorite famous wacko names. So his name is Snigglefritz McGillicuddy. Should have seen the look on the lady's face when she tried to fill out the certificate. She was was like, you can write that. Yeah. So, new addition to my dorm room. Say hello to Stinkleforth McGillicuddy. Yep. With that, I will say goodbye. Be sure to find us on iTunes if that's what you prefer. This is also on our blog. If you're not watching it on our blog is middle-3stitches.blogspot.com. If you're watching us on our blog, you've already found us. You've already found it. Good for you. Congratulations. Follow our blog. We're on a Ravelry group. Three Stitches Podcast. It's called Three Stitches on Ravelry. Bunch of threads. You can see our Pavonis progress. Sooner rather than later, you may see my finished Pavonis shawl up there. Cross your fingers. And sooner rather than later, there will be another thread for my Thin Long if I can find a pattern for it. I'm on Plurk as Katie Jo. I'm on Ravelry as TARDIS Traveler 42. I'm Katie Jo on this Blogspot. Thinking about changing my Ravelry name again, but I've already changed it because I don't know. I want to like sync up all my names, but I don't know. Ravelry limits your name changes, as I'm sure you're aware of if you're on Ravelry. And so I've already changed it once. And I thought when I changed it then, I was like, this is the perfect Ravelry name, I'll never have to change it again. And then we started the blog, and so, like, Mom has one name all throughout. Lindsay's is sort of similar all throughout, and mine's just like, well, I have this name, and 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 this name. So I'm trying to sync them all up. And so I don't know if I want to change my Ravelry name quite yet, because that means I would only have one more name change left after that, I think. Or 0, which would be really bad, because I'd be stuck with that one forever and ever and ever. Honestly, I'd delete my account and then re-amp it, remake it. Should be a lot of effort. Alright, I've been talking for 42 minutes. 42! Yay! Perfect time to end the podcast. 42 minutes. Alright, so with that, goodbye. Hey everyone, I'm back. Can't get rid of me that easily. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise, but I just got back from my essay meeting. Last one, no more essay meetings. And so I got a text message from Lindsay during the meeting, that I received afterwards, because I had my phone on silent. I'm not that rude to have my phone on vibrate during meetings. Saying that somehow Blip, just decided that it just wanted a chunk of my episode. So I'm going to re-upload my episode once I can convert it again, because apparently Blip doesn't like the format that I use, even though it's the same format that I used last week. Apparently. So I'm going to reformat it. But after I add this little bit on, because so last week was honors convocation, and so I got inducted into the who's who among students in American universities and colleges, and I just got my certificate right now in the essay meeting. So, haha, it's official, right here. I have my certificate. Here, just wanted to show you guys. I hope I haven't cut all of it off. Let's see. Nope. Okay. Yep. Okay. So there we go. Little addition of me partway through my day. I just got back after my essay meeting, and yeah, it's exciting. So I don't feel like buying the book, but I'm in there. I'm not gonna spend a whole bunch of money on the book. I'm not gonna spend $20 for having to put a little biography of me in there. I've got the certificate. I'm good. I'm in the book. It has my name in there. That's all I is to it. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully this one works.